important. Oratiwe and Bontle, if you have questions, you can leave your hands up. Otherwise, please lower them so that we can get started. Whoopsie, sorry, that was a bit of an aggressive zoom in. Right, Caroline, I hope that's now big enough for you. Bontle, do you have a question? All right, Tato, do you have a question?
No, I'm just going to answer the question.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. I just want to say a few things before we start this, but you can leave your hand up and then I'll come to you now, okay?
Okay.
Right, guys, so what we're going to practice here is sort of slightly harder or slightly more complex operations. Now, there's a couple things that we need to take note of before we start that. The first one is how many terms we're working with. And the reason this is important for us is because once we know how many terms we have in an expression, we can start to sort of single or identify these terms and say, okay, can I simplify this term any further to try and help me find the value of an expression? So we need to know how many terms we have, and we also need to remember our order of work. Now, your order of work, you can really remember it how you want. I don't really actually ever use bodmas or bodmas, but it is one of the ways that we use it, or that we can remember our order of work. Personally, if I was going to use it, I would use bodmas, not bodmas, just because for me, I don't know why I put a bracket there. The reminder of dealing with exponents is quite useful. So that E stands for exponents. So I prefer bodmas if I was going to use something like that. However, just remember that you need to do the order of your work correctly. As long as you remember that, you do it how you want to do it. Okay, so Tato's disappeared. Tato, you want to raise your hand and help me with the first one? Okay, does anyone else want to raise their hand? I see, okay. Oh, no, there we go. Tato, help me.
So it's going to be 16 times 4, which is 64.
Well done.
Plus 5.
Good.
Which is 69.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so guys, very important, as Tato started with, the first thing that we need to do is the multiplication. According to bodmas or bodmas, whatever you want, we have to do multiplication first. Now, if this is a bit tricky for you, what I suggest you do is you grab your highlighter and you highlight the operation that should happen first. So in this case, the multiplication. And then what you do is you highlight the number on either side of that sign, so on the left and on the right. And what you've then highlighted is what you start with. So I've highlighted 16 times 4. That is what I start with. And then I carry on with the rest of my sum or the rest of my expression. Right, very nice. Well done. I'm going to leave it there if you want a screenshot. I'm also going to just do that just in case you want those sort of words at the top. And then we're going to have a look at the next one. Tato, well done. Guys, remember, once you have answered or asked your question, remember to lower your hand and remember to mute yourself, okay? Otherwise, it gets a little bit chaotic with all the hands and all the voices speaking. Right, let's have a look at our second one. So here's question B. Remember your bodmas or your bodmas, whatever you want to remember, but think very carefully about which operation should happen first. So I'm going to give you guys a second to think about it. I'm going to give you guys a second to write it down. And then you can raise your hand or you can pop it in the chat how you think we go and do this question. So think carefully. Right, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, but otherwise correct me. Vuyanek.
Hello, teacher. It's going to be 6 plus 9, and it's 15 divided by 3. It's 5 plus 2, it's 7.
Okay, so very nice maths there. You got all of those answers correct, but remember, we need to start with the division first because BEDMAS tells me I must do division before I do the addition. So I need to start with the division. Now again, guys, grab your highlighter, highlight the division sign, and then highlight the numbers on either side. That's where we start. We want to follow BODMAS or our order of work. So if we start with that, we're going to leave the 6 and the plus. We'll come back to that. But now I want to say 9 divided by 3. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then we have our plus 2. And now we've done the division, so we can move on to the addition. Now you can add however you want, but 6 plus 3 is 9. And 9 plus 2 is 11. And so when we've done our addition, we have got our final answer following our order of work or following BEDMAS or BODMAS, whatever you want. But very importantly, in this case, we needed to start with a division. If we don't start with a division, we are not going to do our work in the correct order. And so we're going to end up with the wrong answer, which obviously we don't want. So remember, order of work, very, very important. Right, I see a couple of hands. If your hand is up to ask a question, obviously leave it up. If it's not, you can lower it. There's many more questions we're still going to do. So promise there's lots of chances for you to give an answer. Amatle, do you have a question for us or for me? Or no, okay. So all of you with your hands up, don't stress. There's going to be lots of opportunities, okay? Bontle, do you have a question?
Ma'am,
Mm.
ma'am, I don't understand number B.
Okay, so for number B, we need to do our order of operations. So we need to do BODMAS or BEDMAS. So according to BODMAS, we need to do division first. So in this expression, I have to start with the division. I have to start with 9 divided by 3, and that gave me 3. I keep the rest of the expression exactly as it is. So I keep it 6 plus 3, which was my answer from my division, plus 2. And only then do I do my addition part of BODMAS, because addition happens right at the end. So we need to start with the division and only later do the addition. Okay, so addition and subtraction, guys, happens right at the end. You deal with multiplication and division first. English. Sipasile, do you have a question? Okay, guys, remember to take screenshots. Yeah, Sipasile?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask if order matters.
Okay, when you say if order matters, in terms of doing the division first and then the addition, absolutely. If you're talking about, yes, it does.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Okay, so guys, just on that, let's just make triple sure division and multiplication, that is the first thing we look for. Only after we have dealt with that do we go and do the addition and subtraction. Obviously, we need to check for brackets and so on, but in terms of division and multiplication and then addition and subtraction, division and multiplication has to happen first. Only after that do we do addition and or subtraction. Right, I'm going to move away in 3, 2, 1. Hope you all got a screenshot. Okay, so let's have a look at question C here. I'm going to write out BODMAS just so that we are constantly reminded by it. You can write BODMAS, you can write BEDMAS, whatever you want. I don't particularly mind. But this is important because the B of BODMAS tells me I need to deal with the brackets first. So I need to deal with this bracket over here first before I do anything else. All right, Caroline, do you want to try?
Remember, you have to unmute on your side. Hey, Caroline? So there's a pop-up that comes on your screen. There we go. Well done, girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, bodmas says we have to start with brackets. So we have to say 2 plus 1. But
Perfect.
first we need to write the calculation of 8 plus 4. We need to say equals 8 plus 4. We leave it there, times. And then we calculate 2 plus 1, which is 3. So we put a 3
Excellent.
there. And then it's equals to, we do times. So we leave the 8. We write 8 there.
Yeah.
Plus, and then 4 times 3 is 16.
Double check your multiplication there. What's 4 times 3?
Oh, sorry, 12.
Good. Well done.
12. And then you say 8 plus 12, which is 20.
Excellent. Well done. Fantastic. That was such a good explanation.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I almost feel like I don't need to repeat that. What I am just going to say is, remember, brackets first. So exactly as Caroline said, we add the 2 and the 1 first. Then according to bodmas, the next thing that is important is my multiplication. So I need to do the multiplication before I do the addition. And so here, our final answer is 20. Right, I'm leaving that up in case you want a screenshot. I'm seeing quite a few hands. If your hand is up to ask a question, leave it up. If it's not, put it down. Again, guys, lots of opportunities, I promise, to answer. So don't stress. I'm going to try to get to everyone who raises their hand.
Well done, my pibs. Well done.
Guys are doing really well. I know this stuff isn't necessarily always the easiest stuff. So you guys are doing really, really nicely. Right, I'm about to move away. Make sure you got your screenshots. Okay, so I want you to try question D by yourselves. The only thing I'm going to say is, remember, when there's nothing in between a number and a bracket, there is a multiplication going on there. So just remember that operation. But I'm going to give you guys a minute or so to have a look, to give it a try, and then I'm going to ask for some answers, okay? Do it carefully. Remember bodmas. I'm just going to write it down again. You're going to be dreaming of bodmas in your sleep tonight.
Practice makes it perfect, my pibs. So remember, you are writing everything down, okay? That's how we learn. That's how we see different examples. So I am sure y'all, my people, geniuses, you're writing everything down on your book.
Okay, guys, remember, bodmas. You need to do it in the correct order. If you don't do it in the correct order, you are not going to get the correct answer, and we don't want that. You guys can all do this. I know you can, so just do it carefully. Right, Okani, do you want to try this one?
Yes, good day.
Hi.
So since we have 4 plus 3 times 2 plus 4, we write 4 plus 3, and then we calculate what's in the brackets, which will be 6.
Excellent.
2 plus 4. Then we say 4 plus, we now multiply 3 times 6.
Excellent.
Which will be 18. That will be 4 plus 18, which is 22.
Fantastic. Well done. Okay, guys, beautifully explained. Again, I don't even think I need to re-explain. Importantly, though, brackets first, so 2 plus 4 first, then the multiplication, and then only right at the end we do the addition. Okay, that addition or subtraction should always be happening last. It should never be the first thing that you do. Right, sorry, Patiswa, do you have a question? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sorry about that.
I wanted to know if we can say 4 plus 3 in brackets 2 plus 4, which is the actual sum. And then you convert the 2 plus 4 into 6. Then after that, you add the 4 plus 3 to make it 7 times 6.
So we have to do the multiplication first. The addition has to happen right at the end. So we do have to say 3 times 6 first.
Yes, but instead of 4 plus 18, can we say 7 times 6?
No, because that gives you two different answers. 7 times 6 gives you 42. So what I'm saying is, excuse me, and this is where terms come in. That is a completely separate term to that. And so we want to simplify that 3 times 6 first before we
ma'am.
go and add the 4. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cool. Caroline, I see you also wanted to ask a question. You can put in the chat or you can raise your hand, completely up to you. Okay, while we're waiting for that, Boitu, do you have a question? Oh, no, sorry, I'm just muting everyone. Sandile, question?
Wow.
Okay, I don't know what's happening there. Caroline, do you want to ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask, since you said that we have to do the subtraction, always do the subtraction at the end. Is it possible if we can stop around the bodmas, the division and multiplication, we can swap it, and then the addition and subtraction, we can swap it if it goes from left to right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so as long as you remember that, so the way, this is why I don't always like bodmas, but the way I think of it is that multiplication and division have equal importance. So whether you do division first or multiplication first, it doesn't matter, but as long as that gets done first. Then, as you've just said, the next sort of important bit is then the addition and the subtraction. It doesn't matter if you do the subtraction first, but that addition and subtraction must happen at the end. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Well done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys. So I know there's still a lot of hands up. Let me just see how many hands. We've got Bontle. Okay, Caroline's asked a question. Sandile, Boitu, Motabang, and Mems. If that's your name, cool. But if it isn't, let me know so we can change your name. If you have questions, leave them up. If you don't have questions, you can lower them.
Yes, my people, and remember to use the chat
Maya.
also, okay? You can definitely just type your question. You see how many hands there are, so we might not get all those hands. So please put your question on the chat also if we don't get to your hand, okay?
And again, guys, we're going to do more questions. Those of you who want to answer, there will be chances, okay? Motabang, do you have a question?
Motebang, just remember that you need to unmute on your side. So you need to click on that white box that comes into your screen so that you can talk to us if you have a question. Okay. If you don't have a question, please help us to take out your hand down and then we can all be good to go.
Okay, ma'am. I was just waiting if there's another question.
There are going to be more questions, so keep ready. Get ready for the next few questions, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right, guys, just quickly on the chat, those of you asking about the quiz is on Wednesday, as Yolanda said. The quiz from last week, you should be able to still access it if you want. If you want to redo it or try it, it should all be there. Yolanda can jump in if I'm talking lies, but you can still access it, but we won't get those results as far as I know. Right, we are moving on. Okay. Nomhlobi, do you have a question? I see your hand is now up. Okay. Okay, guys, so we are already halfway, so we're going to take our brain break. There are more questions for those of you who want to answer, so please don't stress. I promise you, you're going to get a chance, and I'm trying to get to everyone. Those of you who are coming late, we get it. We know that there's network issues. We know that load shedding is causing absolute chaos. So as Yolanda's kept saying, these lessons are recorded. So go and watch the recordings. They'll be up by tomorrow. Watch the recordings and make sure that you are happy with what's been going on in the lessons. Right, so here is our brain break for the day, guys, or for today. That's right. What I would suggest you do is you start with the clues. So start by looking on the left-hand side and start by seeing if any of these clues help you to figure out the value of each shape. So remember, we want to know what a triangle is worth. We want to know what a circle's worth, what a square's worth, etc., etc. But my advice, start with the clues on the left here. Right, Motabang, do you want to help us out? Do you want to start us off?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, which one are you starting with?
I'm gonna try the answer. This one, the clue where the answer is 6.
Perfect, okay.
Both triangles, there are 3.
Excellent. So guys, what's very important here that Motabang sort of made a point of saying, both of these are triangles, okay? So we're adding the same thing together in order to get 6. And so what's happening is we have to have the same number being added together. Right. For those of you on the chat, you are welcome to write this down if you would like to. This is a brain break. So if you're not understanding what we're doing right now, we're taking a little break from sort of the math that we were busy doing, because it's a long time to sit for an hour and concentrate. So we just take a little break and we try these together. We try and solve the puzzles or the whatever equation, whatever I give you together, and then we carry on with the math. So that's what we're currently doing now. Alrighty. Okay, so Motabang's helped us. We know all of the triangles are 3. So wherever I see a triangle, I'm going to put 3 down so that I know that I've got the value there. Right, I'm loving that we've got so many hands. Maya, do you want to help us out with another one?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I think the squares are 1.
Okay, where are you? Oh, no, English. Let me try and say that again. How are you getting 1?
Ma'am, I think it's based on I feel like I'm just taking an educational guess.
Okay, so I think you're following the same train of thought as someone else in the chat. It's not about how many sides the shape has. So it just worked out that the triangle has 3 sides, but it's not necessarily about how many sides the triangle has. So Maya, if you want, look at this third one over here. 3 plus what gives me 4. So what is the circle? What do I have to add?
Ma'am, 1.
Excellent, well done.
3,
so guys, that's
1.
Exactly.
Ma'am, that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said the square is 1.
Oh, ma'am, I said the circle is 1.
I'm not listening. I'm so sorry. You are absolutely 100% correct.
It's okay.
Maya's clearly more on it tonight than I am. So exactly as Maya said, and I didn't listen, the circle is 1. Very well done. See, I need to clean my ears.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so every time I see a circle, 1. Again, guys, not about the number of sides, it's about the equation that you're working with. Okay, let us see. I hope I say your name correctly. Militia? Please just correct me. You want to help us with the next one?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. How do I say your name?
Militia.
Militia, thank you.
I think it's 4 plus 4 plus 4, and it equals to 12.
Okay, which one are you doing, Militia?
Oh, the answer that says on the clues, the answer that says 4.
Okay, so we've done that one. Remember, we just did that one. Maya did this one for us. So we've got 3 plus 1 is 4. Do you want to try the one above it? 1 plus what gives us 8? What do I need to add to 1 to get 8?
Please repeat the question.
Okay, what do I add to 1 to get an answer of 8? So 1 plus what gives me 8?
Let's go, Melisha. The friends are giving you an answer in the chat, Melisha. Look at the chat. They're
7.
helping.
Excellent.
7.
Well done. Fantastic. So the square, guys, is 7. So we have lots of squares on the other side. So excellent, Melisha. Well done. 7. Fantastic. Okay, Kira Betswa, do you want to help us with the... I'm losing my mind. Do you want to help us with the last one? So we know the square is 7. We now need the diamond. Kira Betswa, you there? Oh, there we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what's the diamond?
I think the diamond is 3.
Excellent. Well done. We have to get 10. So 7 plus 3. Well done. Okay, guys. So now we want to move over to the right-hand side and we want to try and get those answers. So Leander, do you want to give us the first one?
So, ma'am, on the first one, I think I'm gonna make it easy. So I'm going to say 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 7 is 13.
Excellent. Well done. I love how your minds think, because that for me is the harder way to do it. I would have said 7 plus 3 is 10 and then 10 plus 3 is 13. But I love it. You got it absolutely right. Well done. Okay, so guys, Leandra's given us the first one, 13 exactly is our answer. Amahle, do you want to give us the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So you're gonna say 7 plus 1, that's 8, plus the 3, and the answer is 11.
Excellent. Well done. So guys, our second one there is 11. Very nice. Otlecheng, do you want to give us, where are we? The third one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The first one is 7 plus 7 plus 3 equals to 17.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, so guys, 7 plus 7, 14 plus 3, 17. You wanted to, and remember, we've spoken about this fact that you don't have to add things in the order I give them to you. If you wanted to, you could start with 7 plus 3, which is 10, and then nice and easy, 10 plus 7 is 17. But any order you want to do it in is cool when you are adding. Nice. Okay, so Batle, do you want to give us the last one?
Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
it's 7 plus 3 is 10,
Good.
And 3 plus 1 is 4. So 10 plus 4 is 14.
Well done. Again, new way of thinking about it. Grouping your numbers and adding them should make your life a little bit easier. But again, however you want to do it, you do you. But the answer is 14. Guys, I'm so impressed at how many hands there were. Really, really nice. And again, I'm trying to get through everyone. I'm doing my absolute best. We are going to do some more questions. So those of you that I didn't get to, try and raise your hand when we do some questions so that we can hear your voice.
Ma'am,
Yes, Amatle?
could we have said, so 3 plus 3 is 6, plus the 1 is 7, then the 7 plus 7 is 14.
Perfect. Absolutely, because the order in which we add things doesn't matter. So that is 100% correct. I love the way you guys think about this because it's so different to everyone and it's so cool. Okay, guys, so that is our brain break. For those of you that are new, we just do something different for a little bit and then we carry on. Alrighty, so if you want to take a screenshot of that, this is not really stuff that you have to know. It was just something fun. I'm going to move up to some questions. Mhlubi, don't worry. Okay, so we had finished with D. We're now on, we're now on E. Hopefully we can all see that. Lots of hands. Okay. Oh, sorry, everyone. Ashley, do you want to try this one for us? Ashley, there should be a little pop-up asking you to unmute. Okay, Abir, do you want to, oh, sorry. Yes, Ashley, I see you've unmuted.
I didn't see it, miss.
Okay, no problem. Do you want to give this one a try?
I'm still working out, miss.
That's absolutely fine. Don't worry. Okay, Abir, do you want to try?
Miss, since it's bodmas, we'd like to start with the brackets first.
Wonderful. So what do I do?
Well, minus 4 from 2, it will be 2. And then since there's nothing in between the brackets and the 3, we'll multiply whatever 10 plus 3 is with what's in the brackets.
Okay, so just be careful. That addition needs to happen right at the end. So we want to do all of this multiplication in the middle first. Oy vey. We want to do all of this multiplication in the middle first before we do the addition or subtraction.
The answer for the multiplication is 12.
Excellent. So we've got 10 plus 12 minus 12. And now only are we going to do the addition and subtraction. So what is our final answer here, Bia?
10.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, guys. So again, exactly as we started off, we start with the bracket. 4 minus 2 is 2. Nice and easy. But then we need to make sure we do the multiplication first. We're not doing any adding yet because I still have multiplication that I need to deal with. Only after I've done the multiplication am I then going to do the addition. All right, and then our final answer there, positive 10. Just waiting for everyone to take a screenshot if you want. And then I'm going to move over. Last 3 seconds. All right. 6th one, question F. Take a look. I still see some hands up, so I'm assuming all of you with hands up still want to try, but I'm going to give you a minute or two to give this a try before I pick on someone. Remember, order of work. Okay. Right, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Nakonkeluya. Do you want to try this one? You're going to try for us?
I think it's 3 plus 2 times 7 divided by 2 minus 7. So we're gonna say we need to start with 2 times 7 is 14. Then we
Good.
say okay.
What's the next operation that we need to do here?
Oh, we're gonna say 3 plus 14. 3 plus 14 is 3 plus 7.
Okay, and remember the 7 comes from the fact that I still need to do the division. Very nice. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. Good. And then we've got the minus 7.
Yes, then we say 7 minus 7 is equal to 0. So the answer is 3.
Excellent. And I like the way you thought about that. I'm going to explain it now in a second. Very, very nice. Well done. Alrighty, guys. So for question F, our final answer is 3. Okay. First thing, because no, I don't know where that train of thought was going. First thing, we have to do the bracket first. So 2 plus 5 gave us that 7 that we wrote down. So just that we can all see what's happening, the bracket became the 7. We added them together. Now, remember I said earlier, I think it was Caroline that asked, division and multiplication have the same level of importance. And so what that actually means is that what I need to do next is sort of this middle section of the multiplication and division. Now, it's easier sometimes to just work left to right, and this now answers Lisadi's question in the chat. If you're multiplying more than 2 numbers together, it doesn't matter where you start. Start where you're comfortable. It's the same for division and multiplication. If you've got multiplication and division, start where you're comfortable. In this case, it probably makes more sense to say 7 times 2, which gives us 14, and then 14 divided by 2. But you don't have to do it. You could start with 2 divided by 2, which is 1, and then 1 times 7, which is 7. It doesn't really matter. You're going to end up in the same place anyway. So you can do it in any order. You're going to end up with 7. And then only right at the end are we going to do the addition and subtraction. Right, so very, very important, our order of work. Now, quickly, Lisadi, I see that you had a question about the previous question. I don't know if that's the same question that you had in terms of multiplying more than 2 numbers. If it is, I hope it's answered. If it's not, just raise your hand. I see lots of hands, so I'm just going to call out names. Offense. Who we got? Offense, Ramachotswe, Offense again, Bontle, Maya, Tato, Ashley. If you guys have questions, leave your hands up. If you don't, please lower them. Just otherwise, we're going to have so many hands that we need to deal with, and it might not actually be necessary. Okay, Lesedi, I'm glad you sorted. Okay, we've got 2 offenses. So offense, there should be a, I mean, I can't even help you. Offense, there should be a pop-up to unmute. If you have a question, you've got a blue top on, if that helps. No, offenses there. Okay, other offense, do you have a question? Offense, are you there?
You can talk now. You are unmuted. You just have to talk. Hey, offense, because we can see you, but you're not talking. Okay, so remember that you can also just post your question on the chat or your answers on the chat, okay? Thank you, offense.
Okay, then Bontle, do you have a question?
Ma'am,
Yes.
I could like to do the other sum, but this one.
Which other sum?
Like other steps, but this sum, ma'am.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
Ooh. Ma'am, I will try the other one.
Okay.
No problem, Bunde.
Okay, and then Katsi, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. If I don't, correct me. Do you have a question?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I wanted to say that I don't understand, ma'am, how we got 14.
Okay, cool. So where we got 14 from is we said the 7 times 2, and the 7 we got from the brackets. So once I said 7 times 2, I ended up with 14. And from there, I then did the division of 2. Does that make a bit more sense?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, Offensive, you're going to try again. Do you still have a question? Okay, I'm hoping this is you that put the question in the chat. Right, guys. When we look at this question, what I'm actually just going to do is I'm going to take this all off, and let's just make sure that we're happy with everything that's going on here, because I don't want to just leave you high and dry. So bodmas, that is what is important, your order of work. So according to bodmas, the first thing I need to do is brackets. So I'm going to start by adding the 2 and the 5. That means everything else stays the same. 3 plus 2 times, I'm going to deal with the bracket, divided by 2 minus 7. So from the bracket, 2 plus 5 gives me 7. So I've done the bracket, sorted. Now I move on. The next thing I need to deal with is either division or multiplication. Now I've got both in the sum. So I need to now decide, okay, well, which one am I going to deal with? But don't stress yourself out. Let's just work left to right in this case, because it doesn't matter in which order you do it. So let's start with 2 times 7. I'm going to leave the 3 plus there. I will get to that. But now I've got 2 times 7. 2 times 7 we know is 14. Then I've still got my divided by 2, and then I've still got my minus 7. And from there, we then do our division. And we know that 14 divided by 2 is 7. And only after we've done the division and the multiplication can we get our final answer. Okay, so Fancy, I'm not too sure what you mean when you say we must follow English. BODMAS. We did follow BODMAS. Yes, we did the multiplication first, but remember I said earlier on, multiplication and division have the same level of importance. If you want to do the division first, that's fine. It's just going to end up with a fraction, but you're going to get the same answer. So if you start with 3 plus 2 times, and then you do the 7 divided by 2. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. I have to do some quick math in my head, which is fine. You can do that. And then you can go and do the multiplication and say 2 times 7 over 2. And 2 times 7 over 2 gives you 7. So you end up with, golly, Miss Molly, you end up with exactly the same thing anyways. So if you want to start with 7 divided by 2, you can. It's just going to give you a fraction, which is fine, but you can do it any way you want. So if you want to stick strictly to BODMAS and do the division first, absolutely fine. But like I said earlier, when Caroline asked, division and multiplication have the same level of importance. So you can do multiplication first if you want, but you can also do division first if you want. Right, Bulela, the fraction 3.5 is 7 over 2. So I choose to write things as fractions. I prefer fractions. 7 over 2 is 3.5. Okay, Offense, well done. I feel like there were quite a few questions coming in here. Bulela, I hope that all makes sense now in terms of the fraction and the 3.5. I hope we're understanding that. Okay, so guys, I get that this is tricky. Like, trust me, I'm not by any means saying that this is nice and easy and you should just know it. But what is important is that we're following our order of work. Okay, so you'll see that there's a poll that you need to fill in. I think you, no, there we go. Right, so please make sure you do the poll. You literally just have to click a button, nothing too stressful. Just so that we know where we're at. Excuse me.
Well done, guys. Y'all did okay. And my son clearly saw that you guys did a good job.
I love it. It's so cute.
Until it gets to this point that I need to beat myself.
See, guys, you've got so many cheerleaders here. Alrighty, some of you are still finishing off the poll, and I do see some hands, so I'm going to try take these hands in the last minute. And Jabulo?
Let's remember to put in the poll so that we can have a lovely night. Y'all work really, really hard. So I'm so proud of you.
Very. Dolakile, do you have a question? I don't know what's happening with Njabulo.
Hey, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the by 14 divided by 2, you said the answer is 7. Is it necessary to put the 7 in brackets after you're done calculating it?
It's not necessary, but you can if you want to.
Okay. Thank you.
Up to you.